you on Raya?
No, I'm banned. Oops.
Why were you banned? I'm banned from Tinder.
Oh my God.
Hey lovelies, you're tuning in to The Ins and Outs with me, Ruby Rare.
And me, Megan Barton Hanson.
Megan, hi.
Hey.
This is our first episode.
I'm so excited.
I feel really excited. I also feel kind of nervous because I feel like sex and relationships, this is such a huge world that we're about to embark on. We don't have to do everything right now. That's what I'm trying to tell myself, but I am. But like,
there's so much to cover, but that's the fun of it. Let's just take one step at a time.
Before then, I feel like we should probably like introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
So tell me about you, and maybe let's set the landscape of like the world you're coming from, and then I'll do mine, and we'll. I keep being like, we're going to make a baby. We're not going to make a baby, guys. A podcast baby.
Make a podcast baby. So I feel like if anyone recognises me, it's probably from Love Island back in the day. If not, they're probably subscribed to my OnlyFans. So I'm an OnlyFans creator now. But I done Love Island, and I guess I'm like a sex positive activist, maybe you would say. Like, I don't know. I think I got such a bad time on Love Island, like slut shamed and all of this. It kind of snowballed into something that I never set out on doing. Mm-hmm. I've done talks at like Oxford and Cambridge about like porn and like being a sex worker. And I think it's got so much shame behind it. And it shouldn't have. At the end of the day, it's the most natural thing. Everyone loves fucking. So like, why are we not speaking about it? It's crazy to me.
But I feel like when you were coming up in Love Island, and I remember that, I think that's probably the series that I watched the most. I remember at that time, it's sort of like, it almost felt like you had to become like outspoken and sex positive because there was so much shit coming your way. And it's been really nice seeing you taking that and then like taking loads of ownership about it and being like, I really care about this and this is how I'm going to speak about it and how I'm going to present myself.
Yeah, it sounds so weird, but I feel like in a way, I'm kind of glad I did get all that backlash and hate, because if not, and it would have gone under the radar, I probably wouldn't have addressed it and been this like advocate or voice for like sex workers and girls who are just horny and like sex. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, men can say it and it's absolutely fine. So why can't we?
Well, well done for reversing the double standard. Doing your bit. I'm here for it.
Thank you, babe. And what about you?
So I've been working in like sexual health and sex education for 10 years, almost coming up to, and just started by going into schools and teaching sex education. And I love working with young people. And it kind of made me realize how terrible my sex education was and how for like almost all of us, I've yet to meet an adult who was like, my sex education was amazing when I was younger and it prepared me for everything that I entered into adulthood. And so after working in schools, I started doing workshops for adults and realizing that like we all need a bit of like care and love around this because we come into it with a lot of fear. And so, yeah, I kind of come from that sex positive world from social media, but also now I'm a writer and have done like presenting stuff, kind of just, anything sexy, queer, bit weird. So we're going to be doing this every week and we've got a lot to say. So most of the time, well, some of the times it's just going to be us two, but we'll also bring in some of our favorite experts and people to like contribute as well. And please send us messages, make us laugh, try and shock us. I think we're quite unshockable, but I'm willing to be challenged.
I'm just nosy. I want to hear all the sexual gossip.
I want to be like above sexual gossip, but who is? Like, obviously we want to know all about that. But then, if there are topics or other specific questions that you have, like, let us know. We really want this to be led by everyone, like us and what we want to talk about, but also all of your interests and the things you want to learn more about.
Yeah, I feel like why I'm so excited, I want to make like a whole community where there is no like shame around anything. Ask us anything. We're here for it.
Shock us. Go for it. Ask us the really weird thing. We are going to pop details of how to get in touch with us in the show notes. But for now, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
First step, baby. We're going to be talking about being single.
Very prevalent for me.
And me. Well, recently for me as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long have you been single for?
Coming up, I think now it's like 6 months. but it was a long relation. It was like a big relationship.
How long was you together?
6 years.
Oh, wow. I can't even comprehend. My longest has been like 9 months to a year, girl. I can't imagine.
I tend to... So right now I'm really trying to break the cycle because I had to have a good hard look at myself and realise that basically since I've been 15 and started dating, I've been in a relationship for like almost all of that time. The most I've been single has been like a handful of months here and there.
Oh my God.
And also doesn't help that like I'm non-monogamous. So I've got like multiple relationships on the go, which also like that can be a lovely thing. But
yeah,
I don't know, I feel really torn because I love relationships and like being with people in different ways. But I am basically grounding myself. I'm making like, it's been 6 months and I want at least another 6 months of being consciously single and still like dating a bit and hooking up with people. But just like I need to stand on my own for a bit because...
So when you say like you was only single for a handful of months, would you like live with all these partners or like be seeing them like every day kind of thing?
This most recent relationship was the first time I lived with someone because even I am still quite independent and haven't like rushed into stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you know the phrase U-hauling?
Yeah.
I mean, that's mostly, I'm queer, but not like full gay. A lot of my gay friends are like, fall in love. Hey, we're moving in. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's a big phrase in the lesbian scene, isn't it?
And yeah, I'm definitely, I haven't done that in the past. I've not gone that full on. But yeah, just realizing that I've been like, I find it so easy to get like wrapped up in someone else's life and I need to just be me for a while.
That's nice though, to like see how you feel by yourself and just see people like as and when you want rather than... I feel like when I date someone, I'm really into them, I'll kind of like morph into their life or like, I don't know, be available for their, like mold into their routine and life. So I guess, yeah, it's nice to have your own independence and just...
I'm trying. Watch when next week I'm like, I'm in love. But tell me about you. Where are you at in terms of single life?
Oh, girl, I've been single for so long. Really, since I come out of Love Island, I really haven't had
was that 2018?
And we're now in 2024.
But 2018 is when I got with my ex. So we've had like the reverse.
Yeah, we've had
almost
polar opposites. I've had like little things. And I would say like the people I dated maybe for like 3 or 4 months at a time, they were like, we would say like, I love you. But then really, if I deep it, was I? Do you know what I mean? It's like one of them ones. But I just think the older I get, the more I'm like, I'm not going to settle unless it's like I have that spark and that chemistry or bringing something into my life. I'm not going to allow myself to get attached to someone. So we'll just like hook up. Mm-hmm. But I think I am quite greedy. I think I should just say I'm non-monogamous. Wait, I can't say it.
That's the thing. Saying it, like it's such a difficult non-monogamous, but it is like saying anemone or millennium or something. It's like a really clunky word, but...
Let me try. Non-monogamous.
You got it, girl. I think it's also like finding ways to feel good in yourself gets... I think I found it a lot easier as I've got older because we're both now. Are you 30?
I'm 30.
I'm 31. So like my standard when I was in my early 20s, on the fucking floor. It's like, are you looking at me? Oh my God, great, let's fall in love, I'll go. And now I'm much better at being like, oh, actually, I don't think, like I can appreciate lots of things about you and also, and maybe, I don't know, not in a way to sound mean, but even like recognizing, I think this is a really nice way that we can like date and hook up, but actually in terms of anything long term, this isn't what I'm wanting. Like it feels like that's what you're describing as well.
Yeah, but it frustrates me. I'm my own worst enemy. When I was in my like late teens, early 20s, if someone was physically attractive, that would be enough. I'd be like, oh my God, she's stunning. She's got like the nicest butt. She's got amazing titties. She's so cute. Her smile. Guys, I'll be like, oh my God, he's so tall. He's got a 6-pack. Now, they could be physically like carved by the gods, but unless you've got like a personality or we have that vibe, there's just so much more, I think, as you get older, which I get frustrated at because I'm like, I've been celibate now for so long. I would just really like to hook up with someone, but I can't get past just like, if it's just looks, I need something more. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's actually like sexuality that this is making me think of. Have you heard of demisexual before?
No.
Demisexuality is like where you are sexually attracted to people, but you actually, in order to feel that sexual attraction, you need to have formed a bit more of an emotional bond with someone.
Yeah, I have that.
So every day's a school day.
Oh my god.
Maybe this is like, and you know, that can be like to greater or lesser extents. But I always find it really interesting when people kind of can claim that with some understanding of themselves, where they're just like unless like the spark's there or you've developed something a bit more, you're not going to like really lean headfirst. That makes it sound a bit wrong, but you know what I mean?
It's so strange though. I wish I wasn't like that. Have you like found that with age? Obviously you're newly single, but do you think like when you was younger, you could just physically like look at someone and be like, oh, okay, they're hot, it's enough. And now as you're older, you're like, but they need to be funny, they need to be smart, they need to be driven. I just think the checklist is just getting longer. And I'm like, Meg, rein it in, girl.
I think to be honest, the checklist has always been fairly long for me. I've just allowed myself to look past it. I think I've always needed someone who makes me laugh. Physical attraction, I guess, is important to me, but not as, but like actually I'm very like personality driven. And also now I'm lucky because my mates and the people that I'm kind of still seeing in a more casual way, just like everyone's really fit. So if on top of that, and they're my friends, so like I fancy their minds and their values, and like I think they're really funny and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, looks are important, but I think I've always like seen the whole package.
Yeah.
More. Do you remember when you were growing up what like any references of being single?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like Bridget Jones was obviously like the main one.
That's the classic.
And she was like so unhappy and like, oh, she just needed a man. And I think obviously I love them films, watching it. But as you get older, you're like, no, come on, girl. You're like crushing it by yourself. You don't need a man.
She's got that really nice flat as well. Any like 90s sitcom or 90s or noughties rom-com, I'm always just amazed at their housing by being like, you have an entry-level job and you live in this like really nice bougie 2-bed flat. Yeah. She lives in like Borough Market. Sorry, this is so not the point you're making.
No, but
you're making a really important point about self-worth, and I'm like, housing prices these days. Okay, we'll park that.
No, but it's so true. I would love to know what the modern Bridget Jones, where she'd be living.
She'd be in a flat share in Deptford and having the time of her life, but she'd probably have bed bugs.
Or in Southend with me. I'll be like, come on, girl, let's get down the Weatherspoons. It's not that bad.
I mean, the Deptford thing, I'm just talking about myself.
But yeah, I guess Bridget Jones or Sex in the City. And I will do that even to this day. If I'm like, oh, I'm 30 and still single. Is it me? Am I the issue? I'll put on Sex in the City and I'm like, oh, okay, Sarah Jessica Parker didn't start filming that till she was 30, did she? So I feel like that's given me a lot of like positive, but there isn't really many media things where it's championed of single women striving. Like there's just not.
Or if it is, it's a bit like in spite of being like
they've been done dirty, so now she's getting like,
yeah, or in a forced way of being like, I don't need any. It's like this kind of performance of independence where I think a lot of the time when we're talking about singleness, I struggle because are you ready to get slightly existential? Only a little bit. Like the idea of being single doesn't really make sense to me when I really think about it, because we're not like, if you don't have a romantic partner, why does that then mean that you are a single entity when like we're surrounded by so many different connections and they like make us who we are and we feed into them. Like, why does not having one type of relationship negate any of the others? Yeah. Which I know, like, again, this is me coming from like polyamory perspective maybe, and sometimes if I talk like that, people are like, okay, Ruby. But
no, I hear it though. And I think really, is it a thing that society's put in place as a way to be like, you have to go to work, you have to find a partner, settle down, be monogamous, because it just keeps us like very in line. No one's like straying or causing chaos. Whereas if it was all just out being like polyamorous and doing the most. Like, who's going to want to turn up
Meg,
to work?
join my side.
I'm not going into work on Monday. I'm just going to have the best time with like all my new friends.
Sadly, I still do have to go into work on Mondays. Don't think I'm like, I'm just like only frolicking all the time. But yeah, it's, and like not even in terms of sexual and romantic partners, like my friendships and my like family members and the people that I like share community spaces with, like actually being single now is nice because it's really confirming how important all of those are. This last 6 months has been fucking rough, like really next level. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without all of those people. So I can't, like, can I really think of myself as single when like I have been so held and looked after by like this amazing group of people?
Yeah, your community of like friends and stuff.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's sad to like hear that you've been going through it though the last 6 months, but I guess it's like change. It's something you're not used to.
Yeah, fully. And actually, I think we're starting this at a nice time. If we'd started this like a month before, I think we would have started talking about being single and I would just like weep. But actually, I don't know what the time frame is for different people, but I think in the last month, I've just felt myself like settle again and actually feel like a sane person and like I feel like I've got my little spark back again.
You need to give yourself credit because for such a long relationship, that's still quite a short span of time to like pick yourself up and get over it and feel like yourself again.
Yeah, for sure.
I've had like relationships for like 6 months, 9 months, and I'm like devastated for like a year. So you're doing good.
Thanks. I'm sure we'll get some of the devastation, but also lucky you. I think I'm like entering a real slaggy era. So I just get
Bring
to tell
it
you
on,
all
baby.
of the gossip.
Yeah, I can't wait for all the gossip.
Yeah, there was a really great Guardian article earlier this year which was talking about being single by choice, which again, like we don't hear about that often because so much of the time being single is seen as like genuinely almost like a tragedy or like, oh, there must be something wrong with you or like, oh, sympathy, like bleh. This was the Survey Center of American Life finding that for Gen Zs, 53% of them were like unpartnered by choice. And that's pretty similar with millennials, 59%. And it only goes up more as people get older with generations. So like boomers, 73% of them were identifying as being single by choice. This is why I think being able to pair like our conversations with research, ours, but like just in general, is really important because if we don't hear those perspectives, it's so easy to keep having that same message in our minds of like, if we're single, then that means that something's wrong with us or that's something that we actively have to change in order to like be happy. But there's no defined script of what happiness is like. And also like not to say that then we all just like need to be really happy being single. Obviously that can be difficult as well.
Of course, yeah. But I feel like I have personally gone through that where I've been single for so long. Like I've dated people on and off, but not had like a full-blown relationship. I was questioning myself. I was like, maybe I'm asexual, you know? Do I like girls? Do I like guys? Do I like anyone? But it's not until you hear these stats, it's like, oh, okay. It's completely normal. So many of us are choosing to be single now. But I think just society does, especially for women, I think men feel less because really as a man, you could settle down at like mid-40s, 50s and still like find a partner, still have kids at that age. But for us, we do have, as much as I hate saying it, we do have that biological clock.
Which is less like, I think there's less urgency than we're socially told there is. Like that was such a weird wonky way of phrasing it, but like my friendship group is like a really broad age range. And so a lot of my friends with kids are like late 30s, early 40s. And I think for me, that feels really good because it just puts the pressure off. Like, whereas I know for some friendship groups, if everyone's like the same age and everyone's like doing some of those things, you're nodding. Is this you?
Yeah. So many of my girls have like settled down and like having babies now, even like the ones that I would like consider like very like not conforming to society. They still have kind of like fallen in love and had babies. And that's like so beautiful to see. But at the same time, it does make you, even subconsciously, if I'm not thinking about it, even in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe I should be like trying to find someone that I can build a future with. It puts that kind of element of pressure on. And I think, especially now on social media, there's so many girls getting their eggs frozen and doing this. I think, oh my God, do I need to do that? I'm like, no, surely not. I just look at Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker. I'm like, it's fine.
You're
it's fine.
Do you think you want kids?
I do now, and I never did before. I was so
Really?
like, I'm so selfish. Like, I just want to live. Like, imagine holidays ruined. Like, I can imagine that. Like, I just want to sunbathe and drink.
I love that. That's the thing that you're just like, no, let me holiday in peace.
I just need to ensure I stack enough money on OnlyFans to employ an au pair so she can come with us. And I'm like, I'm getting a margarita on the beach and getting a back massage. You need to look after baby Bruno.
I love the idea of just like from across the beach, you being like, hi, baby, well done, you're doing great.
Make sure there's factor 50 on him, please. And a big sun
like,
hat. Mum is going for a massage.
I cannot wait to see that. But yeah, I guess like that does make, if you know that's something that you want, that definitely shifts the idea of being single. And obviously like you can have children without a traditional partnership, but I think we're still hardwired to see that as like the only way that you can do it. And I can totally appreciate for lots of people it feels quite nerve-wracking, like intentionally going out on your own and doing that. Yeah. What do you like, from what you were saying before, it feels like I'm definitely in that like single by choice thing for the next little while. Does that feel like you, or actually are you looking for a relationship?
The thing is, like, I'm my own worst enemy. So I would love to be in a relationship. I think I've been single now for like best part of like 4 or 5 years. So I would love to, not because I need validation from someone, but just like someone to have like nice meals with, nice holidays, travel with, all of that cutesy stuff I miss. Or like if you're having a bad day, you know, when you just like don't want to like hang out with your friends necessarily and like speak and have loads of conversation, you just want to be like be a little baby, like snuggle me, look after me. I miss that. It's only of an evening that I like really think, I would love a partner.
I feel very seen by you like only really wanting a partner when it's nighttime, because I'm like living on my own now.
Yeah.
And I like quite pride myself in feeling like butch and brave, and like if there's a spider I'll sort it. Like I can be the brave friend. When I'm at home on my own, if I hear a noise in the middle of the night, I'm just losing it right now. And like I'm being like big and brave in the daytime, and then I just unravel at night and I'm like, no, where's someone to look after me?
It gets dark and you're like, Daddy,
guys, I just want So yeah, but maybe that's a bodyguard more than a partner.
Maybe we need to set up like CCTV at your flat or something.
Also, I live in like a really creepy old weird house, so it's probably just like is ghosts, but I've just decided that they're friendly.
No, I really can relate. Like I've lived by myself for like 4 or 5 years now, and it was novelty at first. And some of my friends used to be like, "Oh, how much to like rent a room from you?" I was thinking, no, like I want everything pristine and neat. I don't want you in my space. But now, of an evening, I won't lie, like I have a roster of like fuck buddies, but it's not gonna feel them lonely nights when I want to watch, like even just watching TV by yourself. It's not the same. Like I'm watching TV and I want to laugh at it, but it's like I feel like a dickhead. I'm sitting there laughing by myself. Like, oh my God, did you see? Oh, there's no one there. What an idiot.
And also things aren't as funny when you're watching them on your own.
Yeah.
Like certain shows, if I watch them with like my sibling or like a friend, I will laugh a lot more. And like now if I'm watching it on my own, I'll notice.
Exactly.
That I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, look guys, it's not all positives. There's actually, in terms of renting a room, this made me prang out so much. Cost of being single. Have you thought about this before?
Only once going on holiday. You know, getting a single occupancy room is more expensive than getting a double. And I thought, how dare you? Not only am I single and I'm trying to get myself out this rut and explore the world by myself, you're now charging me double. Arseholes.
That's, yeah, I think the world is designed, as you were saying, of like like this is the way that we do it. Like find someone, get married, have kids, do all the stuff. Like I think because that's still the norm economically, that's like the setup that's designed to suit everyone the best. And even with like taxes, I've got mates who don't want to get married but they have done because they're like literally this makes a better financial decision because you are taxed less if you're in a married couple. Why am I talking about tax? Like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, let's...
No, that is wild, though.
Not my area of expertise. This was genuinely shocking to me. There's research that came out last year by Hargreaves Lansdowne, which showed that people who live by themselves and are single spend up like twice as much every year, just on like existing.
No, girl, don't kick a man while she's down. What?
So I'm now entering that life being like, guys, I don't know if I can afford this.
Should we, if this goes well, should we just move in together?
We can rock up, yeah. Well, also, I wonder if being polyamorous means that I'm like saving loads of money.
True,
actually. That's not true. As if the cost of dating is real. But yeah, I guess I've never really thought about singleness from a like purely economic headspace and how fucked that is if there's like an actual financial repercussion.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
Of not conforming and like settling down. That's crazy.
Hopefully, if OnlyFans keeps doing well, hopefully you're just like, yeah, whatever, this is fine. I can cover it.
Yeah. I'll be the sugar mama. I'll be like, Ruby, I've got this, it's fine.
Thanks, babe.
But no, that is wild, isn't it? I've only noticed it, like I said, like on holidays and traveling, which I always thought is so bizarre. Like, why are you going to pay more for a room if one person's staying there over two? I could never fathom that. But this is just next. I'm actually taken aback. Getting back on Hinge after this.
We should do an episode of looking at each other's dating profiles because I feel like I would really like to see. Are you on Raya?
No, I'm banned. Oops.
Why were you banned? I'm banned from Tinder.
Oh my God.
Tell me your story.
I just want to know like how we're qualified to be sitting here right now. We're both blocked off dating apps. So I had a sex and relationships column with Vice, and I mentioned that I was on Raya. It was all about online dating. And I said, I'm on Raya. And I was like, Channing Tatum's on there. But I only mentioned him because it was already public knowledge. It's already out that he was on there. So I thought it's fine to mention
they thought
him.
You like outed him.
But these stories had already run, but I just maybe brought it up. But I made like a self-deprecating joke. I was like, oh, Channing's on there. I keep swiping him, but it's not swiping me back. It's obviously just not seen it. Or maybe his PA's swiping for him. He's missed me. Next thing, I go to sign in. Thanks for your support in our community. It's no longer needed.
That's how they phrased it.
I've DM'd
the most passive-aggressive rejection.
Evil. I DM'd them. I was like, guys, I made a little mistake. I thought if it was public knowledge, it was fine. Didn't mean it. Please have me back.
We're like, nope.
It's like, no.
Wow.
You're gone, bitch. Bye. Then I got Hinge and I got blocked off that for being a catfish. And I was like, no. It actually is me. Well, how did you get blocked?
Oh, well, this was so long ago. And genuinely, like, I didn't do anything bad. This was like maybe 7 years ago. On Tinder, I uploaded a photo that was like a really sweet, lovely, tender image of me bleaching my friend's hair. And like, we're all giggly and smiley. But because it was bleached and I didn't want to get anything on my top, I took my top off. But I put emojis over my tits, but like bigger than a bikini. Like full coverage. Dumb.
Yeah.
And I was in the States and I wonder if like they've got stricter like guidelines over there.
Maybe.
But just really quickly it was like, nope, that was nudity.
That's
and like
crazy.
I tried for ages to get an account back with that number, but also being like, guys, I'm an asset to Tinder. Like, I'm a slag. You want me? Like, I'm really, you know.
I'm going to complete it. Like, let me back on.
Not all the matches. I am swiping left, but yeah, I in theory could complete Tinder or any other app. But yeah, I feel a bit foolish because I also, fair enough, like I do get it. And if nowadays I would never have posted something like this, but I think I honestly was just like, hey, I need some new photos. This one's cute. Let's go. And
but equally, it must be like humans like reporting you, because how would like AI know that if the emojis were bigger than like a bra cup, how's that going to know?
I should have done like emojis and then like drawn a thing like it was a triangle bikini.
It's crazy. I don't get how this reporting stuff works.
Yeah, so sadly. Tinder, if you're listening, take me back.
I'm sorry.
And Rhea.
Yeah. Rhea, please.
Well, Rhea, accept me because I'm still not on you.
Yeah, we need to definitely get on that.
I want to close out this episode chatting about one of my favourite topics, which I know you are very down to talk about as well, which is solo sex. What are your thoughts about, like, I'm excited to keep talking about solo sex and masturbation throughout our episodes, but how do you find sex and masturbation through the context of singleness?
Not to like bring the tone down or like make it negative vibes, but for me it's been a really tricky, I guess, situation with masturbation and just like self-pleasure. Like when I was year 9, so I don't even know what year, like how old I would have been, maybe like 15.
Like, I think year 9's 13, 14.
Right, so I was in year 9 and a guy in year 11 was like, can you send me a video of you masturbating? And at the time I was just so nervous. I was like, no, I don't want to send it to you. Thank God I didn't. But he was like, have you even done it before? I was like, yeah, of course I have. Then the next day I went in school, my life was hell. Everybody, that's the girl that fingers herself. Oh my God. And then I'm going back home crying. And back then no one spoke about it. There wasn't podcasts like this. People didn't speak openly about sex. And my mum's like, what? Why are you so upset? Why do you want to move school? I think I can't tell her. What on earth am I going to do? So that was my introduction to self-pleasure, which wasn't great. And at that point, I hadn't even done it. But I think because the whole bullying aspect had created so much shame around it, when I finally did want to do that, after I'd done it, like, you know, post-nut clarity, I would have like post-nut shame. I'd be like, oh my God, like obviously it's amazing in the moment, but like once I'd orgasmed, I'd be like, oh my God, maybe I should feel bad. Am I a slag? Like, why have I, like, it was really sticky for me. But I think until I had my platform after Love Island and I spoke about that experience, and every person does it. It's just back then women weren't really allowed to speak about it, or it wasn't known for women to speak about it.
And there were probably girls at your school who were like relieved it was you getting bullied and not them. Like, which stops people from speaking out, because also, not to trivialize, that is so fucking rough. And it makes me really upset that so many people have had experiences like that as teenagers before you've even become sexual yourself, that there's just like this huge layer of shame that you then have to try and work your way through, as well as becoming like a sexual being, an adult. It's horrendous. And actually, yeah, we need to talk about it with that like seriousness to it, because it's not like I'm here to have a laugh with you and like there's a lot of stuff here that's really silly, but actually at the like surface level of all of these conversations, there's a lot of pain and shame that we also need to address.
But I think that's the beauty of us doing this. It will like allow girls to feel like, oh, it is normal to feel that way. Because after them like months of shaming and bullying, I was like, even in the confines of my own house, I'm not hurting anyone. Boys would joke about wanking and coming to school and be like, oh yeah, we like all these wanking jokes. But as a girl, if you done it, oh my God, you're dirty, you're a slag. So I think it's so important that we are actually doing this and speaking about it, because I'm not going to lie, I've had some of the best orgasms of my life by myself. So it's actually, very important.
You know what? The only thing, again, like, so this is such a weird analogy to make. What you were saying about like watching TV and not having someone to laugh with, I think with masturbation, you're right. You can really, because you're not having to think about anyone else. You can just really be in your own body, in your own zone. But I will sometimes like have a wank and it be so blindingly successful. And I don't want anyone to be there when I'm masturbating, but I kind of want someone to be there afterwards to like debrief and be like, Christ, that was good. And like have like, chat to after. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'm just going to do that bit myself. Or I'll like message a friend.
And do you say to your friends like, oh my God, I just like, or you're not that open with it?
There's some friends of mine, especially like mates of mine who I do hook up with, and also mates of mine who are in like the sex work world or kind of more sex positive movement. I can, especially if I've done something a bit unusual or weird, can be like, lol guys, just this ended up happening.
Oh, I love that. That's so nice.
Do you have how are we phrasing that? Like mates that you can chat about your orgasms to?
No, I wouldn't really say friends, like more people I'm just like seeing at the time. maybe if I just want a bit of like, I don't know, a bit of an audience. maybe I'll text them during and just let them know, like, step by step what's going on. But yeah, I never thought about that. I guess that is the part after where I said, like, back in my early 20s after the whole bullying thing, I would feel like this overwhelming sense of shame after. Now I don't feel shame, but I guess I haven't like ever thought about like, reaching out to someone being like, oh my God, this was amazing.
Well, if you have a really sensational orgasm and you need someone to know about it, you're very welcome to text me.
I'm going to let you know.
No pressure.
Oh my God, I have an
also if you're listening, this isn't your invitation to tell us.
Oh yeah.
maybe on OnlyFans. That's like
Can I tell you a really embarrassing wanking story? And also, do you call it wanking? Because what do we call it as women?
I move around. I think for a long time I said solo sex from like a professional standpoint, because also there was something quite nice about like leveling out. Like there's solo sex, there's partnered sex, there's like group sex. It's all just sex. It's not like better or worse depending on how many people are there. And I still stand by that, but maybe solo sex feels a bit earnest now. Wanking's silly and fun. Masturbation's fine. Yeah. We need some more like good words though.
I feel
what do you go for?
Wanking, because I just feel like, although obviously that's typically for men, I just feel like masturbation is so like formal and like clinical. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. We can go with wanking. No, but wait, I want to hear your story.
Okay, this is so embarrassing. So when I was younger, the only time I had a flatmate at the time, the only place I could wank was literally in the shower or in bed. So I was like, we're going to go with the shower this time. We're like, it's a hair wash day, washing the hair. Round one, fine. I thought, she's getting greedy here. Round two. Went for round two. I didn't really take in consideration the heat of the shower. I went so light-headed. Everything was spinning and I was just like staggering out. And I was calling my friend up the stairs. And bear in mind, he's like a gay guy. And then I'm like fully naked. And he's like, no, I heard if people faint, you need to put your legs above your head. I'm like, no. Oh my God, the shame, the embarrassment, the chaos of it all. He goes, what happened in there? I said, oh, I don't know. I think I just haven't eaten today and I had it too hot. Bear in mind, my heart's going pitter-patter.
Oh my God, stop it. Wow. Oh my God. Fainting from coming twice. It's a story. I've not heard that before. You need some like Victorian smelling salts. And just crack a window open, actually, Megan. That's what you need to do.
Them shower heads are aggressive, let me tell you.
Also, now I'm worried about your vulva. Like, don't get burned. Like, it doesn't. I am going to be thinking about that for like days to come. Even round two, even saying it again, I'm like, yeah, this is incredible. I hope you got into your bed, like cooled off, and then you were like, okay, we can finish round two now.
Oh, I don't know how I played
or
that.
Maybe you were just like, I'm done for the day, guys. Sorry.
God knows what.
I Icarus. I flew too close to the sun. Oh my God. Ooh. On that note, have we tackled everything that there is about singleness? I mean, no, obviously there's more to talk about, but we've hit the serious. You've made me laugh so much I've almost cried. We've like helped to feel more empowered in like the choice of being single. But with all of these topics, you know, there's so many different ways of looking at them. So we hope we've opened your eyes a little bit and like made you see things from different perspectives. Is there anything today that you were like particularly surprised by?
Maybe the cost of being single, to be honest. Definitely
That's the thing that's going to change things.
What about you? Maybe you will never try masturbating in a shower after that.
I mean, no.
I can't believe I shared that.
I just want to go back and like hug Megan and be like, babe, well done. That was brave of you. Bit stupid, but brave. No, I think actually I really appreciate like being like hearing from you that you feel like content being single, but you can also recognize the things that you're missing, because it can so feel like an all or nothing. Like either you're like miserable or you're really happy, and actually finding a middle ground and just being like honest with where you're at is really helpful. And I think that's really useful for me to like take away and think about with my next little bit of singleness.
Yeah, but I feel like you're doing super well being single, like with all your friends around you and all of that. Like you said, if you've only ever been single for a few months at a time or whatever, it could have been so easy for you to just dive back into another relationship by now.
For sure.
So you're smashing it.
Thanks, babe. I appreciate it. Can I recommend you a novel as well? Well, maybe audiobook as well. I know you're more of an audiobook babe.
I am.
So I really liked a novel called Really Good, actually, which was by Monica Heisey. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's so funny, but just like very real about being single, but like getting to a place of that feeling good. So,
oh my God, it sounds like I need to download that.
It's a really cute one. And yeah, I hope that you've all enjoyed listening. Thank you for coming along for the ride. This has been fun.
I loved it. I feel like I'm massively overshared, but whatever.
Look, start as we mean to go on. So that was it. That was our first episode. Please let us know what you think. You can email us or get in touch in lots of different ways. All that information is in the show notes.
And please send us your sex questions, conundrums, tips, and any questions you have for us. And please be open, as we have.
Shock us. And yeah, until next time, this has been The Ins and Outs. Bye, babes.